Hey everyone, my name's Lily and I'm the book blogger behind Utopia State of Mind, and I am sitting in the squeakiest chair possible, so just bear with me. I'm going to be bringing you another part of the 12 authors, 12 books. I'm going to be talking today about Codename Verity and The Lovely Dark and Deep. I will only have 2 more books to read for this project, and it's just only December, basically. Not yet, in a couple days I feel like. But I'm currently reading one of the books. One of the books is tracked. Hopefully I will finish that, within the next week-ish. And then I will have the rest of the time to read Leviathan Wakes, which I'm very excited for, but that is a chunky book. So let me just get into it. I'm going to start off with the one that I just read. I actually read The Lovely Dark and Deep probably 4 months ago. It's been a while. I feel like in October and sort of September, I totally forgot about this project. So I feel like I read The Lovely Dark and Deep. Hold on, let me figure it out because I wrote a review for it in June. I wrote a review for it in June. So that I'm gonna probably be reading mostly off of my notes, but Codename Verity actually just finished last week. So Codename Verity is a historical fiction taking place in World War II setting, and if you don't like airplanes, you probably shouldn't read Codename Verity. There's just a lot about airplanes and a lot about airplane training and just a lot about airplanes, basically. And so I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be a story about subterfuge, a story about betrayal, a very intense emotional story. But I don't think I was prepared for how many scenes were going to take place in airplanes. I afterwards have read the author's note, and it was kind of inspired by that pilot division, I think. So that makes more sense to me, but I just I wish someone had warned me. But I think what I really liked in Codename Verity was the friendship. The friendship themes are really strong, they're really fabulous, and I think I've been struggling to talk about this without spoiling it, but basically the novel is kind of divided into 2 parts. And mainly the friendship is at the core of this story, the story between Verity and I'm pretty sure the other person's name is Maddie. Also, sorry about all the background noise if you can hear it. It's just I feel like as the year progresses, these videos are getting more chaotic. I'm, wearing less makeup. The settings keep changing. I think in the last couple of videos, there were dishwasher sounds, also dish sounds, traffic noise, construction, I think, in 3 videos ago. So, I mean, it's almost December. That's just kind of the vibe we're going for. But anyway, it's set in these 2 parts, and it's basically told from different, one person's perspective and the other person's perspective, which I didn't know. But I think that the last half really brings the themes and the events and the character development of the first half into focus. I enjoyed the first half, but I don't think it was my favorite half. I think the latter half is my favorite, just because of what I said. I think it really builds upon these foundations, and it interweaves in a really fascinating, complex way. I think that if the last part hadn't been there and the first part just kind of ended when it ended, I think I would have been frustrated, but also B, I don't think I would have enjoyed the book as much, because I think the second part is really necessary. Overall, I'm very happy that I read this book, because I also feel like Codename Verity is one of those classic books in YA, older YA books, which everyone's like, oh, have you read Codename Verity? And before this, I had not said anything. Even though historical fiction is probably one of my favorite genres, I really love, obviously, sci-fi and fantasy. And historical fiction, I feel like, is very much up there, even though I rarely read a lot of it. I just really enjoy it. So anyway, those are my thoughts about Codename Verity, and this was recommended also to me by the lovely Natasha Nyan, who wrote Girls of Paper and Fire, Girls of Storm and Shadow, and Girls of Fate and Fury, which were my favorite, one of my favorite trilogies ever. So I knew that I had to take this recommendation very seriously, and I did, and I really enjoyed it. The next one is The Lovely Dark and Deep. I'm really just basically kind of looking over here at my computer at my notes, but basically what I would say about The Lovely Dark and Deep was that it's emotional, emotional from start to finish. This is a story really about grief, and I know that a lot of books kind of start about grief and change off to other things, but I think that the theme of grief is kind of talked about throughout the entire book, not only from the very first, very raw moments at the beginning, but kind of how we process our grief. And I feel like when I say process, some people might think that it's something's processed, and then it's done. But I don't mean that. I mean kind of like how we continuously reprocess our feelings and our trauma and our loss, basically. So I really liked that. I really liked Ren's story, but I also really like Cal. Is his name Cal? Yeah, Cal's story as well. I think that their narratives and their character developments work really well together, actually. And I would say that The Lovely Dark and Deep is more, it's not like slice of life in the fact that you're kind of dropped in. You know, something very clearly has happened. Ren is reeling from grief. But I feel like it's slice of life in the way that it doesn't feel really high stakes from like a world perspective. You know, the world's not like gonna explode or whatever, but it's high character stakes, right? It's character processes and character growth and development within a character. And I think that that is absolutely a place for these stories. So I really love that aspect a lot. Oh, and then something I also said in my review is that it's also about discovery. So I think that grief can cause us to reevaluate and often rediscover or discover parts of ourselves, parts of, you know, our healing, parts of who we are, who we want to be. So I definitely think that The Lovely Dark and Deep, or Lovely Dark and Deep, I know I keep calling it The Lovely, but Lovely Dark and Deep was definitely about that. And let me just quickly, yeah. So I think one of my favorite lines from this review actually is that it's a story about two people who find each other and need to figure out if they have the bravery to stick. And then Ren's journey is not only about like grief. I know I keep saying that. Not only about grief, but also like these moments between. I think that it becomes very difficult to figure, like, you almost feel guilty if you're not feeling sad. You know, all of those kinds of grieving emotions. It's kind of about all of these, and we're able to see that journey really well in Lovely Dark and Deep. So I really enjoyed that one. And I think actually someone who recommended Lovely Dark and Deep. I feel like Rachel Lynn Solomon recommended Lovely Dark and Deep. I'm just gonna double check that right now. Let me see. Lovely Dark and Deep. Yeah. So Rachel Lynn Solomon, who is an autobiography author, period, basically, recommended to me Lovely Dark and Deep. I think because it has a lot of beautiful character moments and character emotions that I think a lot of Rachel's books have, a very deep sense of character and a deep sense of getting to know a character's journey. Rachel has written a bunch of different books. Weather Girl, The X Talk are the adult romance ones. And then there's a bunch of different YA ones. See You Yesterday, I think, is the most recent one, going all the way down to You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone as a debut. Like, just tons and tons of really fabulous books, but I think that are really grounded in character. So I think that that's probably why this recommendation is here. But yeah, this was my almost last, my penultimate 12 authors, 12 books video for you. I would expect the final part in 2023. I don't know when I'll finish the books, but like because of the backlog I'm going to be going through all of my favorites of 2022, I would expect it sometime in January. But I'm excited. I'll give you a sneak peek. I'm basically about 40% through Tracked, which was a recommendation from Eric Smith. Eric's most recent, or the most recent one that I read from Eric is You Can Go Your Own Way, which was fantastic. This one is a sci-fi racing book, which is totally different vibes than You Can Go Your Own Way. But I'm really enjoying the sci-fi setting. I have not read a racing book in a very long time, sci-fi or otherwise, so I'm enjoying it, and I'm intrigued to see where the story will go. Also, it's a duology, I think, so if I really like it, I'm probably going to pick up the second one. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on this almost done 12 authors, 12 books. I think I've said in the last 12 authors, 12 books, I will not be doing another year of these. Every year I've been changing the themes, but I still won't be doing another year even under a different theme. I just want to be a lot more flexible about my reading. I am not a mood reader. I'm a schedule reader. I don't have my schedule to show you. I was looking for it. And I don't think I'll be a schedule reader in 2023, but I want to work to a halfway point between a mood reader and a schedule reader. Oh, sorry. I meant I won't be a mood reader. I want to work to a halfway point, which I can be kind of like a more flexible, moody, scheduled reader. That's what I'm going for. And I think that the 12 author or the 12 books project is really cool. If I had remembered earlier, I don't think it would have been so difficult. But I do feel like I want to have as little sort of requirements for it. And I also really want to just pick it like the month of. So I just wanted to give like a general PSA as well about that. And yeah, I hope everyone has a really great reading day, week, month, and rest of your year before 2023. And I will see you in the next video and also the next 12 authors, 12 books video.